Through years of making beats, I have picked up a lot of different production tips and tricks, and in this video I'm going to share a few of those around kick drums. So if you are in the need of inspiration or just want to learn something new, you are in luck, because I have 4 of these tips for you today. In this video I'm going to use the MPC, but you can of course use whatever device or software that you choose to use. I promise I won't judge. Number 1. Marlow's Ghost Kick. This trick I picked up from an older video on Marlow Diggs' YouTube channel. You can check out the original video at the link below. For this tip, I have this loop going. There's no kick in this drum loop here, so I want to add a kick on the 1 and the 3 with a kick just before, which is classic hip hop stuff. But I want the kicks to support the groove a little better, to make the kick on the beat have a little harder impact. So I have copied the same kick over 2 pads to play them like this. And to achieve what I want, I'm going to take the early kick to the pad mixer and turn down the volume, making it into a ghost kick. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like a supportive kick to the main one, and the main one is the one that is like the loudest and on the beat. Now that I turned down the volume of the early kick, the main kick is gonna feel harder and it's gonna help the groove. But if you want to take it one step further, as I learned from Marlow Diggs, tap the ghost kick pad, go into program edit, tap envelope, and then adjust the attack slower. Earlier it just sounded like the main kick played at a lower volume, but now it sounds like a completely different kick that is played softer than the main one. Now it sounds a little bit more realistic. It's a more effective and convincing ghost kick. Number 2. Quantized Dilla. This tip is inspired by something Dilla did, most notably on JD43, where he used note repeat function on the MPC to program the kick drums. If you don't know what note repeat is a function that repeats the sound on the pad that you hold down. How fast the sound is being repeated depends on the set note value. If you press and hold the note repeat button, note repeat is engaged and the note values pop up at the bottom of the screen. You have to hold down note repeat button for it to work, but you can also latch note repeat if you press shift first or by double tapping the note repeat button. A little side note here, make sure the time correct is turned on, otherwise note repeat won't function. And you can play around with the note values to figure out what fits with your beat. I'm usually at 16th notes. You can also use this technique for ghost kicks, supporting the main ones. Play with it, have fun with it. Number 3. 16 levels of kicks. If you want to approach a more realistic sounding kick drum pattern, you can use 16 levels for that. If you don't know what 16 levels is, it is a feature that copies the sound on a chosen pad over all the 16 pads, but with different values added to them, which is determined by the type of 16 levels you choose, like velocity, filter, tune, and as many more. For this tip we're going to use the velocity type. Pad 16 has the highest velocity, it is the loudest, so I'm going to play the lower volume pads to support the highest one. This is a common trick, but people use it very differently. Some people choose one low and then play that to support the highest one. Sometimes that is all you need. What I like to do is to play several different ones. It feels more dynamic and realistic and closer to what a real drummer would play. There's no sample on top of here, so obviously if there were, I would adapt my playing to whatever the drums was supposed to be supporting. 16 levels is recorded as automation data on the MPC, so remember to enable automation right before you record. Number 4. Stolen drums alternative pocket technique. This is an interesting technique to play around with, more useful with older MPCs than modern ones, but it's still an interesting tool to have. I learned this from Stolen Drums. He did a video on the Very Sick Beats YouTube channel where he showed how to do this trick on an MPC 2000 XL, and I put a link below so you can check that video out yourself. For this tip I have a beat already programmed. What I want to do is to shift the kicks over so that it sits in the pocket. But I'm not going to edit the MIDI notes. So I'm heading over to the sampler, setting it up to resample the output. And now that I have resampled the kick, I'm going to add it to the same pad as the kick I had previously. I'm going to edit it a little bit, but I'm going to keep the second one because I need a lot of air before the kick comes in. Now let's head into Program Edit and enter the Sample tab. In here you can adjust the start and end time of the sample that is being triggered by the program. Now that I have a lot of quiet before the kick sound comes in, I can adjust the pocket of the kick by adjusting where the start time is going to be. By adjusting the sample start time, I can choose how much later the kick is being played. So if I want it to be really late, I would just adjust sample start more this way. But if I want it to be tighter, I can just put it closer to the kick sound. And now I can play back the beat and adjust the sample start to find the pocket that I want. This is an easy and fun technique to mess around with, and I would say go for it, play with it, learn, mess around, try it on different stuff, other sounds, hi-hats, whatever you want. If you have any cool kick drum techniques you want to share, please leave them in the comments. If you are a Dilla fan and you want to learn about the Dilla myths that have finally been busted, you should watch this video next.